I don't know. Really big fan of what TES have put together. I think they have enough ability to create space with the fact you have the Crescent Guard. Talia's always pesky for a dash-based champion like Wukong to go through. A Scion's going to have a ton of health. This should really open up Kanavi if he wants to get some advancing wards down in that enemy jungle of IYY. But for now, going to skip the crowd here. You see the flash from Dway. Headbutt combination. Jackie gets thrown under his turret without even knowing what happens. Well, luckily, Bird's Wolf Summoners get back, and they have Kanavi here to cover. So Dway, who's a valiant heroic play on the Alistair, but just did not calculate for Kanavi to be in the area. That's first blood over to Jackie Love.
Oh, it's so close, though. I mean, look at how low HP Jackie Love is right now.
Trying to see if there's somewhat of a dive angle on a Jackie Love still without flash coming up, but Hong doing a really good job winning the information game, sniffs that one out. And like you mentioned, fizzles out any way to control the wave or even go for this dive. And IYY luckily gets the Scuttle Crab spawning, but outside of that, is going to make the call. We've got a bit of a Death Brush stacking up here. Kerr has Tippers and the stun available. Hong is going to sniff it out. IYY going to smite away the first grub here as Sheer has joined. There's the flash combo right on top of Jackie Love's head. He doesn't, Kanavi's head, he doesn't get a burn any summers. Goes down instantly. 369 going to be thrown back by the Natovo, strikes all out, comes across here from Sheer as well. 369 has to flash over the wall as Tippers holds the rest of TES at bay. Dawing Shadow comes out. IYY's going to eat a stun. Great seismic jump comes out from Cream with a three-man headbutt pulverized from Dway. Sends everybody else packing. Burning flashes, and finally the big Scion falls down. FPX not afraid of TES. Pick up two and get the grubs on the way out.
Like you said, Kanavi got a Tippers dunked on him, and he had no room to ever get the Crescent Guard off there. A massive pick for Top Esports, getting 2 kills and all 3 of the grubs. This is massive for this team, being able to play on the side lane. It is so difficult for Cream. If he does not have his flash, you're going to constantly be dealing with this Annie. And Cassante versus Scion is a very fun matchup for Sheer. He gets to bully the Scion even if he has an infinite amount of HP.
He's spawning onto the Rift, and IYY alongside Dway are going to work their way in here. Got to make sure to watch priority of that mid lane. Jachi's going to swing on over first. As we see a teleport come across Weaver's wall, they're going to try to cut off Sheer, who does not have flash. Beautifully placed there by Cream. The Unstoppable is going to stop the flip back, but it's still a great pick there for the TES solo lanes as the Dragon is getting taken by Kanavi. So 2 for 1 right there on the bot side here and give over this Herald. They have clear vision on it, but Dway's Mark Wicket walking his way up towards the mid lane. IYY going to finish off the blue buff, but the stun comes off Kerr, and he immediately gets thrown by a great flick back by Cream. That's flash off the Annie. The Weaver's wall going to come down. Cream really making sure there's no space for IYY to get in. Dway's going to fly and gets a flash headbutt, sets up the steal. IYY takes away the Rift Herald, puts the Cyclone down, and Hong has nowhere to run away. They're trying to trade back Jackie Love, but there's nobody else damage-wise they can get through. Kanavi straight off on the back end as a Dawing Shadow comes across, but Jackie Love does not get hit by it. Be a real threat once a lot of big items come through, but in the present, seeing that Dragon taken by TES, FPX not in position to punish this. They're going to try and trade the mid-tier 1 turret. They're dropping the Herald, but there's a better Weaver's Wall coming out here from Cream. So the Herald is stuck in kind of no man's land, and Cream to get that first turret down. They're going to try and regroup as 5 and work their way through with a very tanky 369 holding the front line at first. But you got to wait for that Tippers, the Cyclone combo to come across. It's all the bluff, just poking down 369 slowly with the power of that Senna range. They're holding true to the river. The flash Tippers comes out from Kerr, and Cream immediately matches it. Big engage tool comes off the board for FPX as 369 throws himself into the fray. The all-out's going to pull both tanks out of this fight here as the stun comes across to keep Jachi safe, but Kanavi just re-dashes right on top of the Senna. Both backlines are being dove at the same time, but Jackie Love comes over with the kill onto the flashless Cream and gets himself away from Sheer. The Braum concussive blows stack up. Jackie Love, enough damage? No! IYY drops his support. Jackie Love burns the flash. IYY hunts him down for the triple kill. Saves the fight for FPX. And now we're getting really short range by this point. Dway having to flash away from Kanavi. Can Kanavi bring it home with the wind becomes lightning. The health bars are so low. The Trickster comes out, but 369 shuts down Sheer, sets up the dive. IYY, your triple kill means Jack Squad. TES's jungle top lane rescue the fight.
In this matchup, FPX, a team that we were kind of writing off immediately. The eventuality of this game is still to be determined, whether or not Top Esports are actually going to be able to overcome some of the great team fights that we've been seeing from FPX. But now they have a Chemtech Soul in their back pocket, and even than maybe some might expect. The jungle is obviously something that is going to be a bit gapped, as we said, but the solo lanes were where some of the strength maybe was going to come through.
Rubs. Since then, yep, really need more out of this Annie. The CS are setting up shop in this top River.
Uh-oh,
Coming behind, though, for Care. He's getting the stun down. Sheer is a double TP. They're going after Cream. Do they have enough damage, though? Glacial Fissure comes out. Cream is still surviving, but he'll finally drop with very little value. Now Kanavi, he's stuck in the middle of all of FPX, but he's able to dash out, use Jue as an exit route, and now Sheer trying to hold the front line. 369 has a lot more health than Jackie Love. Immediate cleanse into the Care snare. That is a beautiful timer from Jackie Love. Finally, the solution gets to sing, and TES can front to back their way home. Jotzi doesn't have enough damage. IYY can't get in. Kanavi's diving him under the mid-2 turret. All right, slower breaks, TES. We don't want to throw this, but finally he gets Jackie Love with him, and the wind becomes lightning at max range. Snipes out IYY. 4-1 kills. Top Esports starting to roll in this mid-game.
It turns out when the tournament has regular season put in front of it, Kanavi is playing no games. He wants to make sure that he is on point. This is the regular season Kanavi that earned himself an MVP in split number 2. Kanavi doing a great job in this game and is really starting to push the limits despite an early game setback with him not being able to get that crescent guard like we saw. He has been near flawless so far in this game number 1. And now they're going to get themselves the Baron. They're going to move towards Otacon. And this timer for the Baron is going to run right into that Elder, spawning in 2.5.
Can we just soak in for a second, Hulk, that we're going to have an Elder like basically at 30 minutes in this game?
He's doing very little damage, and instead of going for Infinity Edge, he has a rapid fire cannon. This is the big crux of the issue, and maybe why they're not actually going to be able to... If this was an Infinity Edge, I for sure believe FPX might have a chance here.
It's a great point, because where else is the damage going to come from? It's way too burst-oriented. With an Annie and a Wukong, 369 is never dying. The only hope is like we saw in that Dragon fight. 369, I mean, this guy is taking barely any of his HP down. He's been getting thwacked by all 5 members of FPX for a solid 10 seconds.
Beautiful movement here from Top Esports, playing on 2 lanes with the Baron buff, with Talia having ultimate. If they were actually able to tag maybe a little bit more damage, or if Cream really committed to sending the Weaver's Wall, I feel like more of FPX could have gone down here. Jue trying to find something, only gets 2 knockups right now.
Observers show FPX have no idea this big, bad furnace of a man is waiting off to the side. Hong and Kanavi can look for a way in. They're going to go right after Kara to drop the Timbers defensively, but Kara's exhausted, out of the fight. Win because Lightning doesn't get the kill here, but where is the damage for TES? Kanavi, 369 are surviving and thriving. Finally, Kanavi drops down, but Cream on the flank. Can he find a kill on any priority target? No, he's getting knocked out, thrown in the air, but it doesn't matter because Jackie Love comes through like a bulldozer to just drop FPX across the line. 3 kills instantly to the star 80 carry for TES, and we might not even need Elder to wrap up this game 1.
369 and the rest of Top Esports, it doesn't look pretty, it doesn't look clean,
fake out,
but they're gonna get it out. Oh my god, Cream!
Why? He just broke Cream's ankles.
I don't think it matters though. This game's over. You have double inhibitors coming on up. The only people alive are IYY and Jue. Jue, most notably, does have the smite, so he can clear the minion wave. FPX finally gets some breathing room here. But goddamn, dude, Jackie Love, he has come to play here in split number 3.
On the other side of the map here, FPX are making a bit of a desperate play. They're teleporting in. They've got 5 members here strong to at least get control of the
We're starting
map.
it. Why are we aggroing this? I guess they don't know. I mean, Cream's coming, but he's really far. There's a numbers advantage here for FPX. They have to be able to get this done now.
But Navi throws himself in the middle of 2 members. Crescent Guard's going to go down here. We'll get Care on the flank. You need to kill off Jackie Love to have any hope here. Sheer goes all out, drops the stuns. Jackie Love, though, cleanses out of it.
No.
The stuns come across, sure. Jackie Love finally falls. Can FPX try and rescue the fight? No, they just don't have any
Look
damage.
At 369!
Look at 369! He's holding 2-3 members at will on his own. 369 just gobbling up FPX like dinner right now. There's the ace. There's game 1 wrapped up for Top Esports.
TES, you're so damn fine right now. Just being able to make magic work there. It looked a little sloppy, and again, these are some of the questions that we have for Top Esports, but for now, let's give them their praise. Let's give them an applause. They're going to take game 1 versus FPX.
Like you mentioned, Alk, it was a bit shaky in that early game, but they calmed down, redefined their play. What, Sivir and Karma are really going to be the only targets you ever can get consistently this combo down onto. It's definitely not going to be Cream on this Akali.
Something that FPX are going to be able to do not know that there's a Sivir, if whether or not a Sivir is going to come out. Because this exact option is going to happen. Kare's out. He has his jungler right next to him.
Traffic cone.
This is not... Maybe it's something Cream's going to flash.
Flash for flash. Cream also flashes after the speed boost from the Shroud. Connects with the E. Kara's nowhere to go but back to base. Kanavi and Cream grabbing first blood here for Top Esports.
IYY, drop this. Please drop this. This is not real.
Shui on cue. Trying to affect that mid lane. No shockwave, no perfect execution. Available for these mid laners just yet. And Kanavi is looming. Hong, they're going for the pincer move here onto the flashless Oriana, and that pillar gets its value immediately, sets up the Karma root. Cream gonna jump in with the E, push the electrocute damage through. One more auto, it's gonna be the 5-pointed strike. Cream 2-0 on his R5 Akali. Go down, and again, it's IYY trying to scramble to see what he can get following Kanavi. This time he's going to go for the Shockwave combo right on top. Subjugate's going to come across. Equalizer. Is it enough to kill off Kanavi? Yes. Kara gets the first kill, but guess who gets unleashed because you poured everything into your jungler? It's Cream. Perfectly executes onto Sheer, and now Kara served up like soft serve. 5-0 in 8 minutes for Cream's Akali.
Here in game number 2.
Now they can just roll with that confidence onto those neutrals that both are getting taken a bit later on, but Kanavi gonna have no problems.
The bottom lane is smashing. The mid lane is getting so many kills with Kanavi and Cream. A fantastic job coming in from everybody, and exactly the kind of performance that we wanted to see coming into this series.
And coming into this game too, because as we talked about, Top Esports, one of the teams that were always in the most amount of game 3s.
They can very easily just walk on over with how easy it is for Jackie Love to get mid-prio.
Here we go. Desperate responses here for IYY. Dway doing a great job to charm into that paranoia. Still on point with these engages, so Hong is going to drop, but that costs the big engage tool for FPX, and just to grab that support as that last grub from Kanavi drops down, and you can see all 3 lanes still pushing aggressively for Top Esports as they threaten plate after plate. Just jump on in. Hong, we are on a mission right now, and Kanavi gets the memo, but showed up to the meeting a bit too early. Takes a good amount of routes. Here's the TP coming across here from Cream, though. Does have that perfect execution despite no flash. IYY going to flash over the fat wall. Still going to come across from Hong, but here comes Cream. First bound, perfect execution gets 1 kill. The second fade away nearly finds Shui as well.
Now loses his teleport. He's half HP. They're going to get the first turret of the game, and Top Esports claim themselves the feat of strength rather handedly with how this game has gone so far. I mean, some small minor mistakes, but at this
TES is that duo will now roll in with Kanavi to go after this Rift Herald, but still got to respect that immediate all-in. The classic Oriana Wombo ball delivery system gets onto 2 here. Jackie Love has to burn his flash. Is going to get Charmin knocked up as Hong has to pay the Pied Piper with that combo. With a turn for TES, they bide their time, willing to trade their support for more gold. IYY drops off first. Joy going to be able to escape back towards his turret.
Look at FPX. Look at what they're losing out on the map right now. They're moving into top side, trying to protect Sheer. Maybe they get something onto Jackie Love, but they lose access to the mid wave.
We're about to watch structures turn into paper mache courtesy of TES, and what can they do off the back of that all? Go right towards that second dragon of the game with ease.
Instead, it looks like they're trying to... Kanavi's just being greedy. Look, he has camps complaining about the bottom lane, but there is no proactivity coming on through. Really, the only places we have seen FPX move forward is when IYY has this paranoia. But that is a lot of pressure to have, especially when we have such high hopes for a player like Dway alongside him.
And you look at the draft further, and it's like, all right, well, we have a Rumble to play for. You B1 this pick, but cards back through. Red buff soon to drop through the paranoia. Here comes the turn, though. They're going right on top of Jackie Love. The ball has enough damage behind it. IYY looking proactive as you were calling for it. Gets Jackie Love down, but weren't able to slam 2 up into the wall. Shui gets the charm down. 369 gonna have to flash away from this Saya. Over the wall goes Sheer with the flame spinner, but there isn't enough damage through the redemption without the rest of FPX. Sheer falls flat. Perfect execution. Not going to find its mark here for Cream.
Oh my god,
the knockouts are coming through here for 369. Blade Caller, those going to shoot him in place, and down he falls to Cream. Now we're just trading projectiles throughout this brush as Cream does trade back Dway. FPX able to stand tall in a fight despite all of the woes of the early game.
Here for Top Esports as they grab this objective.
Maybe the biggest objective to really get in the current iteration of League of Legends. Octagon giving those pedals huge XP gains for a team that we've talked about endlessly, is already much ahead of their counterparts by this point. Uncontested Otacon, that's how good things are going here for Top Esports.
He's still 2,000 behind Cream at this point.
Oh boy, here we go. Paranoia, Shock Blast, Charm. That's beautiful layering. coming across here from FPX with a knockback onto Jue. Support traded for Kanavi. How much further do TES want to push without their jungler?
Look here for FPX, and pretty thankful that Top Esports are giving them any kind of breathing room.
Oh no, Sheer. Goodbye. Yep. Face checking Akali this far ahead at your own demise. 9-0 for Cream. That's for TS. It's important to remember that they drafted to super scale through their top and AD combo.
Dragon is here. 4,000. Do they want to make it engage? Jue's going to try and steal it. Doesn't end up happening. Does use a smite. It's going to go over to Kanavi, which means soul point.
But I think Cream is going to be able to finally knock this one down, and does have to be wary of the Noxard combo coming out. They're doing a pretty good job now after these last couple plays where Jackie Love's fallen. And
so I like that IYY is playing with a lot of respect to the enemy team in terms of when and where he can actually go and find vision. 369 might be dead.
This guy maybe isn't as tanky as I thought he was. Then
oh, Jue!
AD damage. There is Jue flying with the charm. Shockwave combination comes across, but look at Cream going to the backline. Gets the Feather Storm immediately out of Jachi. He has to run for the hills. Care falls first. Pulling executed to death by Cream. Once again, it's the scary Akali rescuing the fight at the front. And now Jackie Love feels a little bit too big for his boots, trying to chase down Jachi and Jue.
Spend their gold, redeploy back onto the map, and be so incredibly powerful versus our opponents, opening up a 7,000 gold lead here. 25 minutes into this game. Vision down, as we saw. They're starting to get cleared by Top Esports. We see the teleport coming out from Jue. This could be the last fight of the game that's going to be a meaningful turning point here. 8,000 gold ahead with a soul point in their back pocket. Let's see if FPX can mount the impossible comeback with Cream on a flank.
Starts out with Paranoia. Good interrupt for Jue, so you don't get the Orin Horn as Cream does fly in, but he does audaciously on his own. Has to use a perfect execution. Back out. Shit, you got the dragon down low, and it's secured by Kanavi. Ocean Soul picked up, and Cream doesn't need to bring it home this time because it's Exodia Sivir behind this tanky Orn Karma shield up squad. There's nowhere for FPX to hide as the triple kill immediately comes across here. Kanavi gonna pick up the Quadra. Kanavi's Trundle gets the pentakill. Cherry on top. 2-0 sweep for TES. Exactly what TES fans were hoping for, knowing that split 3 just matters so much, not just for the org, but like we mentioned earlier, for this iteration of the roster.
Free Baron. Now he has an Ocean Soul, and he is going to be literally ripping across. We see now Top Esports making the final push into the base with Baron on their backs.
Thought that might just be the formulaic march down, but to set up the 4-1, maybe this final push commencing underway.
Well, two lanes to play for. Do IYY and Care decide to go for Cream? Let's see it. Equalizer's out. It does nothing here. A redemption to keep the minions up. Maybe they could go for Cream, but he's styling.
All right, Jue, charm, knock up, but hey, yeah, look at the Shroud. Where is Cream? We can't touch him. He's just throwing hands at Care, who nearly drops to that E coming across with the Orin Horn onto 2. Shockwave's gonna find members of 3, but Jackie Love is like a Gatling gun, burning through FPX. Jackie Love wants it on the Quadra kill, nearly gets himself a penta right after Kanavi, but there is your dominating sweep. TES, no more game 3s going forward as they take down FPX with a broom.
Hell yeah, that's my sweep right there.
These were some of the best